All right. So when the stadium was being built, what were your expectations? Did you think you were going to lose a lot of business, or did you think you were going to be able to retain?
We spent a lot of time, honestly, we spent a lot of time for the past decade, like trying to think about what was going to happen when the Red Wings moved. Mm-hmm. And our general expectation, we were really worried about losing a lot of business. Mm-hmm. And so we had thought really hard about, what we were going to do and how we were going to sort of combat that. And we had this plan to buy these bigger shuttles and really make it a big public thing, that we were going to have more buses and, push that out and tell everybody that we knew and try and get that all out there. And we figured that we would be able to, as long as people knew that they would be able to get over and back from the arena, they'd still come over. They'd still come in. So, our initial expectation was that we were going to get, destroyed. And then we kind of, came up with this plan and tried to do this thing with the shuttles and tried to really push that.
How many shuttles do you have?
Right now we have two. We have a full-size one and then kind of a half-size one, 15-seater.
Okay. And so how was that worked out in terms of?
We hired a bunch of extra shuttle drivers. We hired extra staff, and after the first month, we just stopped having the extra drivers come in, and now we cut back on our staff a lot.
How much is business down on those nights?
From where it was last year?
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably down. A rough guess is probably we're down, I'd say probably 60, 70%.
70%. And overall, hockey, what percentage of your business is hockey?
It's hard to say. Things have changed a lot in the last year or two as downtown has gotten better. I mean, the really, if there's anything that's been, kind of like a saving grace, is that the regular business has gone up, mm-hmm. even as hockey business has dropped off a cliff. Right. So we're still down. I mean, we're still losing.
Are you surprised that was it the loyalty of customers was a little less than you thought for hockey, or is it that the tickets are so expensive that the Anchor Bar fans aren't? I
really couldn't put my finger on it. I mean, I've been over to the stadium. I like the stadium. And some of the I used to walk around the games at Joe Louis, and I would see, maybe one out of every 10, 15 people was somebody that I knew, and I'd just say, hey, how's it going? Just what a game.
Customers or friends?
Yeah, customers. Yeah, customers and friends. And I don't see a lot of the people that I used to see when I go to the games.
And why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think, I don't know. I thought that, I think the ticket prices went up, and that's a real sensitive market. People are really sensitive to price changes like that. And, something that I've been talking about is that if you're a season ticket holder, if you're going to one game a year, and this is how much everything's going to be. It's going to be $40 for parking. It's going to be $10 for a beer. It's going to be, $200 for tickets. But you're only doing it once a year. You can justify. You can put all that together and say this is going to be a really great night out. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that stadium is really great for. It is having a really great night out. Right. But if you're committing to doing that, 40, 50 times a year, that all those numbers, they just multiply over and over and over again. So I think the people that we do have coming in, everybody that I know that still comes in is a season ticket holder. Yeah. Because for them, that's a real quick decision. You start thinking to yourself, well, I could park for, $6, $8 at the Anchor, mm-hmm. and then I can come inside and I can get 2 beers and dinner for the price it'll cost me to get a beer at
and to park.
Right at Little Caesars.
And is that something you might want to play up more?
We've been trying. We've been trying to push that. I think it's it's on our magnets. It's something we've been trying to promote on our Facebook page and everything.
And you guys did you have to make much of an adjustment when the Detroit News and the Free Press moved down the street, or is that not much of a? Do you still get that business, or?
When they moved up the street?
Yeah.
Well, it got better.
It got better.
It got better because their parking lot is they have to walk past us to get to the parking lot.
And then also you get business from the new tenants.
The Quicken Loan people are really good.
And the casinos are still.
We still get a little bit of the casinos here and there. Okay. We've done a lot with them over the summer. We had a couple different birthday parties and stuff like that.
And in terms of trying to get back the crowd, the hockey crowd, are you giving up on that, or are you trying to figure out ways out of
Well, this is something.
change that?
This is the thing, and this is what I told. This is actually what I've been telling people, even as far back as a couple of years ago. You know, being a hockey bar, being a hockey fans, that's who we are. That's not if nobody comes in, my dad and I will still be hockey fans.
Uh-huh.
You know, you look on the walls in here, we got hockey pictures. If you look, you look on the shelves up in here, it's all hockey books, and we got Red Wings calendars.
Mm-hmm.
This is just it's our personality. It's who we've been for 30, 40 years. So we're not going to stop, being Red Wings fans and catering to Red Wings fans.
Right.
And I think, eventually in the long run, people will maybe this is going back. When I first started working here, for my dad was in the mid 90s.
Yeah.
And back then, our hockey business was probably around what it is now, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And that was after they won 2 cups.
Wow.
And people were, really like fine-tuned into the Wings.
Mm-hmm.
Our hockey business was probably not that much different than it is now in terms of like people. Maybe a little bit busier, but our staff, we had basically the same staff of, 3 waitresses, 2 bartenders, a couple of cooks.
Mm-hmm.
And, we worked really hard. We built it up. We streamlined a lot of our service and tried to get our food times down. And that got it to the point where it was last year, where we were just, crazy gangbusters. Every seat in the house is full.
Right.
And so I think, maybe this is a little bit of a gut punch. There's no way around it.
Right.
But, I've always believed that if you do things the right way, you take care of people, and you treat them the way that you would want to be treated, eventually you'll make something there.
So do you think you'll get new hockey fans, or you want to get back the old ones?
All of the above.
Okay.
We always, we have room for everybody.
Yeah.
Especially, when you think about the fact that we used to every game we'd have 200, 300 people that would come in. It was always a mix of new fans, people that had been here for the first time,
Uh-huh.
people that were coming in for their 232nd consecutive game.
Right.
It was always a mix of those two kinds of people. It's the same thing. I mean, I like Little Caesars Arena. The first game I went to the first preseason game over there.
Are you going tonight?
No, not tonight.
Yeah.
Hopefully if I can get home to my kids, that'd be great.
Uh-huh.
But the first preseason game I went to, I sat in the upper deck and I watched the game. I said, you know what, this place has good sight lines. I like watching games there. It's enjoyable. And I've been over there. There's good fans there too. I think there's still a lot of kinks being worked out in the traffic, the back and forth. I took the Q line back the other night, and that was fun.
Yeah.
They had a little time limit. It said the train will be here in 5 minutes. It was 5 minutes for about 15 minutes.
Right. Yeah. Kind of typical. Okay.